So again, just a reminder, if you ever can't make the meeting, I will post the recording, and then you're still responsible for watching the meeting. We actually have a lot of things to go over today, so I'm just going to jump into some things. And the first thing that I kind of wanted to cover, and I'm sure a lot of you are wondering this, is how are my grades going to be calculated? Okay, so let's just go over some of that stuff real quick. So how it's going to work is that now you should be able to see, this is my iPad. Can I get a thumbs up if you can see it? It's like a blank sheet. All right, perfect. So each quarter, okay, each quarter is going to be worth 25% of your grade. So again, we have 4 quarters, so that's how we get to a total of 100%. So Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4 are each worth 25%, which is how we get to a total of 100%. Okay? Of those grades, okay, there's 3 categories. We have 3 categories. We have things called formative assignments. We have summative assignments. And then we have what we're doing right now, which is called Class Connects. Okay, so let me explain what each of those mean. Formative, in my mind, is like practice. Okay, so again, if in like a traditional school setting, that would be like, this is classwork, or this could be homework. This could be a lot of like those types of assignments that maybe the way I view math is that you got to practice in order to get good at it. So if I don't want to necessarily punish people if you're practicing, but you're maybe not quite getting the correct answer on that. So your formative assignments are going to be worth 30%, okay? So of your overall grade, this is going to be worth 30%. And again, this would be like the dividing numbers assignment. This is like your day-to-day daily activities. Okay, this is going to be the stuff that we're going to do a lot of. And again, I don't necessarily I don't expect you to get it right all the time right away. So if you notice on your assignments, in these formative assignments, you get 3 attempts. Okay, now that's important. And so my expectation is that, hey, let's say you tried it for the first time and you didn't quite do as well as you were hoping. Maybe you got 2 out of 5, or maybe you got 1 out of 4, something like that. My expectation is that you would try that assignment again. Okay, so again, that's why I give you multiple attempts, because it is practice, and I want you to practice until you get it right. Of course you can. Question, Emma, go ahead.
So I know that we have 3 attempts, but which one will you count for our grade? The latest one or the first one?
Great question. So you would get the highest score. So again, I don't want us to game the system. I don't want us, I only got one wrong, I'm just going to keep guessing until I get it right. Again, the idea is to practice. And remember, this is only worth 30% of your grade. So again, the point of practicing is so that we learn it. So I am 100% okay with helping you guys. If you have questions, I absolutely will. I can even do some of these problems for you, and you will get the highest score on these attempts. Okay, which leads us to summative, and this is like what I would say, show me what you know. So this would be like quizzes, this would be like tests. Okay, so tests, quizzes, this is like our kind of more serious kind of assessments where, hey, I got to know where you're at. I got to know where are we doing? Are we understanding the material? And so again, this is going to be worth 50% of your grade, and you're not going to get quite as many attempts. So on Schoology, so I'm going to say it's one attempt, but that's not necessarily true, okay? So let's explain that. So you get one attempt to start off, and let's say, I took this quiz and I got a 60%. I was really hoping to do better. Absolutely, I will allow you to redo it or to, earn points back in some form or fashion. But in order to do that, you have to communicate with me. You have to talk to me, and we have to do something in addition. Because again, it's kind of silly to think, hey, I got a 60% on the first quiz. I did no extra practice. I did nothing else to help myself, but I think I'm going to do better this time. Okay. So again, this is if you do want to do retakes, okay, retakes or earn points back, you have to do something else. Okay. You have to talk to me, and it might vary. Maybe it's doing problems with me. Maybe it's practicing on your own and you show me your completed practice problems. Again, it's not going to be the same every single time. But again, that's just where communicate. Okay. If you're struggling, I have to know. I got to know in order to help you. So we got 30% formative, 50% summative, and then our last 20% is the class connects, which you're doing right now. So again, being online is awesome. That means you're not going to have to watch the video. Towards the end of our session, I will tell you what your assignment is. So you will have some type of assignment. It might be a math problem. It might be a discussion post. And then you will complete that and you will earn your points. Okay. So again, the class connects are worth 20% of your grade. This is also how we take attendance. So I think I'm going to give you guys till Sunday to get that assignment, the class connect assignment done. That's a good point. All of our assignments I have set due to Sunday. And we can go, we'll look into Schoology next. Question. Go ahead.
Since we're in this meeting right now, we don't need to do it, right?
So that might be different in other classes. Again, I'm still going to have you do the assignment. And that's, again, one, because some people just can't attend. Maybe they only do math online and they do other classes in school. And so it's kind of not fair to make them do more work than other people. And the other reason is that, again, some people have their screens off, which is totally okay. But I don't know if they logged in and then just walked away and aren't listening or doing something. So in order to kind of keep us honest, there is going to be an assignment. Again, it's not going to be hard. It's not going to be a lot of work. Today, it's just kind of, I believe it's just talking about what we did in class. There's going to be a couple things, and I'll make it super clear what I am expecting you to do. Good question. Other questions before I jump into some other stuff? Okay, so what I want us to see is that when we are using Schoology, okay, there's a couple things to look at. So this is my iPad, okay? There is a thing on your iPad called self-service, and this is how we download apps, okay? So here's all the apps that we can download, and I want you to, if you have your iPad, to look up the Schoology app, because there's been some issues with people not being able to access things, and I believe that this is the way to fix it, okay? So if I scroll down to the S's and I see Schoology right here, there's two of them. There's one that's got a blue circle and it's white inside, and it just says Schoology. And then there's another one that says Schoology web clip. Okay, it's on the left side right here. This Schoology web clip, I really need you to download, okay? Because this is what will stop the ones that are having trouble, it's because we need to use the web browser, which is Safari, okay? This will take you right into, it'll go to the internet and not necessarily using the app. And that's a work that is how we can counter some of those issues. So again, I really would like you to download this Schoology web clip, okay? Because if you're having trouble, if you're having issues getting onto assignments, some people say my screen just turns white. That's because we're using this app, and not everything that we need to do in our class works on this app. So I'm going to show you how to find it one more time. Again, it's called self-service. It should be an app on your computer or on your iPad somewhere. And if I click this, again, I scroll down to the S's and I want to download Schoology web clip, okay? Schoology web clip. This is just like a link. It'll open up on Safari and then everything will be hunky-dory with our assignments. Go ahead, question?
This is for like the test things, right? Or like assignments.
So I can show you. So again, some of the assignments, again, in math, it's super important that we show our work. So in some of the like tests or quizzes, I'm going to say, show your work to get credit. And again, you can, if you are using a computer, you can use the mouse to show your work. If you're using your iPad, you can use your finger and draw on it. But if you don't use the Schoology web clip, it doesn't work. Like on mine, it doesn't even work. So again, I have both of them downloaded. Say I open this one, and I'm just going to try to see if there's one that I can remember. I know this is not your class. That's totally okay. See how that says it pops up? This activity is not available. So the workaround is that I use this one, and see how it opens up on the internet, and now all of my I can access everything. I can get into everything. So I would just recommend using the Schoology web clip. Ema, go ahead. Is there any way to submit a photo if you do it on paper? That is a good question. So yes, there's two options, and that brings me to my other point is yes, you can do stuff on paper and take pictures. Okay. If that is a type of assignment, there's like, so I'll show you for my geometry class. Okay. What I would do is say they would have something like this, and they would have to add submission, and then they can upload their picture. Okay, that's totally acceptable. The other way to do it, and this is again where I kind of want us to try this, is another app that I want you to download, and you can find it in the self-service. It's called Notability. Okay, Notability. So if I find it, it would be right here. Notability. And this allows us, it's basically a notebook for your iPad. Okay. It's basically a notebook for your iPad that allows us to write on stuff. So you can see I'm using it right now. So what I would do is I could take this picture. I could take a screenshot of this. I could upload it. Okay. I could click this button right here. I can share it. Okay. I can save it. There's so many things that we can do on Notability. So if you get anything out of this meeting, I would say download the Schoology web clip and download Notability so that you can write on it. It's basically like a notebook. But yes, you can do things on paper. Here's the one thing though. If you do it on paper and you take a picture, I have to see all the problems, okay? Some issues I've come in with other classes is people will do it on like 2 pieces of paper, but they'll only take a picture of one, and then I can't see all the problems. So that's where if you do it on paper, you have to make sure that I can see all the problems. All right, so we've talked about grades. We talked about kind of my expectations where if you didn't understand it the first time, Again, you have multiple attempts. I really need you to try things multiple times. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. Everything we do in math class, we're going to have a growth mindset. It's not about where we're at now. It's about where we can go and where we can be in the future. We talked about the Schoology web clip, okay? And then we talked about Notability. Does anyone have questions before I do one example, and then I will tell you what your assignment is? All right. So again, wanted to something that we really focusing on right now is dividing whole numbers. So I had some people reach out and ask about, hey, can we use calculators, so on and so forth. There may be times in class that we can use calculators, and as you go higher up in math classes, you absolutely will be able to use calculators. Like I teach 6th grade math, 7th grade math, geometry, algebra 2, and pre-calculus. In geometry, algebra 2, and pre-calc, you can use a calculator at any time, okay? But in 6th grade and 7th grade, we're trying to develop some of our skills and maybe some of our number sense so that we can have those abilities as we get higher up. So for like right now, we're trying to practice division. We're trying to learn how to divide things. So I would not want you to use a calculator right now. Okay, so again, how do we divide whole numbers? So we have our divisor, which again is kind of like what goes underneath if we call this division sign a house, okay, we're gonna put our number that we're the divisor underneath, and then we're gonna put our dividend on the outside of our house. So this is saying I want to take 1,897 and I want to divide it into 15 equal groups. So that's kind of the idea about division is we divide things into equal groups. So had to refuel there. Okay. How we think about this is I say, how many times can 15 go into 1? Can 15 go into 1? No. Okay. So we could put a 0 there, but we don't necessarily need it. Let's keep it there for right now. And then I have to think, how many times can 15 go into 18? 1 time. So I'm going to put a 1 here. And now I have to multiply this number on the top times 15. 1 times 15 is 15. So I'm going to subtract this. 18 minus 15 is 3. And then I have to take my next number and bring it all the way down. So I'm going to bring this 9 and turn this into a 39. So now we're thinking, how many times does 15 go into 39? Let's count. 15, 30, 45. 45 is too much. So I just have 2 times. So I'm going to put in a 2 right here. And again, I'm going to multiply. 2 times 15 is 30. I'm going to subtract 39 minus 30 and get 9. And then I'm going to bring this 7 all the way down. Okay, so 15, how many times does 15 go into 97? And this is where we're working on that number sense, okay? We might not know. We might have to kind of estimate. We might kind of have to guess a little bit. And it's okay if your number is a little bit off. I see Jack's typed into the chat 6. I believe that that is correct. So I'm going to put a 6 here. And I'm going to think 15 times 6. 5 times 6 is 30. 6 times 1 is 6. Plus 3 is 9. So I'm going to be left with 90. And now the question is, what do we do with this remainder? Audrey, go ahead. Do you think you know?
It's Adri, and so you turn it into a fraction.
You got it.
Do 15 on the bottom, and 7 on the top.
So we get that 15 from right here. Again, our dividend, we are going to put on the bottom of our fraction, and then we're going to take our remainder and put it on the top. So like I said at the beginning, I don't need this 0. This 0 is a placeholder. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. And my final answer is 126 and 7/15. So again, that's one of the ways where if you use a calculator, you're going to get a decimal answer. So that's one way I can tell when people are using calculators, because you get a decimal answer, not a fraction. Okay. So let's talk about your assignment. That was, again, real quick. Just kind of how I'm going to structure class is, again, whatever we're doing for the week, I want you to at least attempt it. I want you to try it on your own before we come to class. It's kind of like if you've ever heard the term flipped classroom. So you're going to do videos, you're going to try things on your own. And then when we come into class, it's going to be more questions. It's going to be more, hey, how can I help you? I'm going to do reviews. But again, my expectation is that you have watched the videos and tried it on by yourself first. So again, I've got a couple minutes left. I'm just going to talk about Schoology real quick and how you can find things, and then we'll tell you your assignment. So I am going to share my screen in a different way. Google Chrome, there we go. Okay, so let's look at Schoology. Courses, we're going to go to 6th grade. All right, so here's our thing. Again, I'm going to post updates right here. So again, make sure you're looking at the updates for important information, but we're going to be under materials. So if you look at week 1, okay, again, we had our intro, we had our learning targets. Week 2, okay, lesson, assignment, lesson, assignment, lesson, assignment. I've got a question. Adri, did I say it right this time?
So for when it says for the lessons, you have to do like the mini problems in the lesson, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And again, so the lessons aren't graded. The assignments is going to be what's graded. Okay. So the lessons are just, again, more practice. And the assignments, again, goes into that formative. That's like 30% of our grade. Again, it's not the summative. If you look at week 3, okay, next week is when we'll have our first test. Now, if you're wondering what you need to do, always look at the pacing guide. So I'm going to click on this, and yeah, you can see it right here. Here's a hint. See how this letter's blue? If you see it's blue, you can click on it and it opens a whole new tab, okay? So again, this is a working document. I'm going to update it as we go, but you can see anything that you need to do is written in black. Anything that's graded is written in red, okay? So if you notice, I had drop-in hours, and I saw some of you at my drop-in hours this week. Okay. And then, so again, here's everything that you'll need to do. And you can even look ahead for next week as well. Okay. Now, what is due for today's class? If you look under Class Connect, which again, if you do miss a class, no worries. Everything you're going to need is going to be right here. So it's going to tell you, and it's even got a link. Hey, here's the time. Here's the time that we're going to meet at. Here's the link to it. After we're done, I'm going to close this meeting and I'm going to post the recording right here. So your assignment, and then I'll answer your question. Oops. Your assignment is right here. We're almost out of time. And all you have to do is, again, whoa, where did it go? So again, that problem that we just did, and I'll show you one more time. All you have to do is work out that problem that we already did. So the problem is 1,897 divided by 15. So I'll show that one more time. 1,897 divided by 15. All you have to do is answer that and you should be good. Share my screen. All right, once you've got that, the directions, you may log out. I've got to get ready for my next class. Again, this is your assignment right here. Answer this problem. We did it in class, so really all you have to do is copy it. Go ahead. Questions?
So the assignment is just to answer that question.
So I'd like you to practice showing your work. So kind of do it, work it out just like this, okay?
Where are we supposed to put this? Like, are we supposed to post it or something?
Yep, so if you go on the Class Connect folder, there's a whole assignment. It says Class Connect #1 and then today's date.
Okay.
All right, sixth graders, you are free to go. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next week at the same time.
Bye.
Bye.